Okay, this will be for the con assignment. Solve for an angle and right triangles. These are very similar to the problems we did on the worksheet. So if you did that, you probably know this already. Okay, so they want you to solve for the angle, question mark, and round to the nearest hundredth. All right, so as always, go to the angle being referenced, go across from that angle to the side that is your opposite. Go across from the right angle, that's your hypotenuse, and the remaining side is adjacent. Okay? As always, use SOHCAHTOA. And what sides are given? We have adjacent and we have opposite. Okay? So which one uses adjacent and opposite? Well, that's this one right here. That's going to be the tangent. So write the formula. Tan of theta equals opposite over adjacent. Okay, our angle theta, we don't know. They just called it question mark. The opposite is 5. And the adjacent is 6. Okay, in order to solve for the question mark, we have to take the inverse tan or arctan on both sides. So this tan to the -1, this -1 is not an exponent. This just means inverse tan. And we do the inverse tan on the other side as well. Now on the left, the tan and the inverse tan cancel. But we're left with the question mark. And this part here you have to enter in the calculator. All right. So just click on Show Calculator on Khan Academy. Okay. And let me see if I can move it. All right. Right there, we want to do the inverse tan of 5 over 6. Okay, see the inverse tan right here, tan to the -1. And it says atan, which means arctan. It has the parentheses. You want to write 5 over 6. So I'll write 5 divided by 6 and close the parentheses. Okay, arctan of 5 over 6. Hit equals. And let me see, they want us to round to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so since the third decimal is 5 or more, we have to round up. So 39.80 is going to be 39.81. Okay, and you just put that in the box. All right. So go to your angle that's being referenced, this question mark here. Go across from that. That's your opposite. Go across from your right angle. That's your hypotenuse. The remaining side is adjacent. Okay. And use SOHCAHTOA. All right, we do not have the adjacent side. You can cross it off. We have hypotenuse and we have opposite. So which one are we using? Hypotenuse and opposite uses sine. Sine of theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, our angle theta, we don't know. They just called it question mark. So the sine of the question mark equals opposite, which is 2, divided by hypotenuse, which is 9. In order to solve for the question mark, we take the inverse sine of both sides. Okay? So inverse sine of the sign of question mark is going to be the inverse sine of 2 over 9. On the left-hand side, the inverse sine and the sine cancel, and we're left with the question mark. And now you do inverse sine of 2/9 on the calculator. So see this one here, sine -1, that's the inverse sine or arc sine, same thing. And in the parentheses, you put 2 divided by 9. 2 divided by 9, close the parentheses. Okay, arc sine of 2 over 9, hit equals. Okay, and these are all rounded to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so look at the third decimal. Because it's 5 or more, you have to round up. So 12.83 is rounded up. That's going to be 12.84 right in the box. All right, so I think these are basically all the same. Just look at your angle, question mark, go across from that, that's your opposite. Go across from 90, that's your hypotenuse. The remaining side is your adjacent. Okay, we're not given opposite, so you can cross it off. We need the formula for hypotenuse and adjacent. Hypotenuse and adjacent is cosine. Adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, our angle theta is just a question mark. Adjacent is 4. And the hypotenuse is 7. In order to solve for the question mark, we have to take the inverse cosine of both sides. And on the right, inverse cosine of 4 over 7. On the left, the cosine and the inverse cosine cancel. And we're left with the question mark equals inverse cosine of 4 over 7. Go to your calculator. Inverse cosine is right here. Okay, it says cosine to the -1. And in the parentheses, you write 4 divided by 7. Close parentheses and hit equals. Okay. And it says round to the nearest hundredth on all of these problems. That's 2 decimals. So you go to the third decimal. Because that one is less than 5, you round down. So it's just going to be 55.15. Okay, and for all of these, make sure DEG is in boldface, not RED. Make sure it's set on degrees, okay, because that's what we're working with. So 55.15 in the box. All right, and that's pretty much it. These are basically all the same.